The 4 rules for negotiating. Talking about money is uncomfortable. We get into this industry because we love the work, not because we want to haggle over pay. But just like in any profession, negotiating your salary, whether for a new job or a raise in your current role, is essential for long-term career sustainability. We often hear, "There's no money in the budget," or "This is just what we pay." But here's the truth. There's almost always room for negotiation, especially if you know how to approach the conversation. I'm breaking down strategies for negotiating new job offers and asking for raises in your current roles with real-world examples from our industry. Number 1, know your worth. Before accepting an offer, do your research. Salaries for stage managers and production managers vary widely depending on the size of the venue, location, and production scale. If you're in a union house, compare your offer against standard rates. If not, talk to colleagues, check job postings, and understand what's fair. Example: a stage manager received an offer from a mid-sized regional theater. Excited about the opportunity, they almost accepted without question until a friend working at a similar venue mentioned they were making $200 more per week. Armed with that knowledge, the SM went back to the hiring manager, pointed out industry standards, and successfully negotiated a higher weekly rate. Number 2, leverage your experience and unique skills. We don't all bring the same expertise to the table. Maybe you have a background in rigging, extensive experience managing touring productions, or a proven track record in safety and compliance. These skills add value, and they're worth money. Example: a production manager with extensive rigging knowledge was offered a job overseeing a multi-purpose venue. Knowing that rigging expertise was a high-demand skill, they positioned themselves as a key asset and negotiated a higher salary by emphasizing the cost savings of having in-house expertise versus hiring external consultants. Number 3, consider more than just salary. If an employer has a hard salary cap, that doesn't mean negotiations are over. Many venues and production companies have flexibility in other areas that can significantly impact your financial well-being. If they can't increase your base pay, consider negotiating for housing and per diem. For touring, seasonal, or regional jobs, housing costs can make or break the feasibility of an offer. Some companies provide free or subsidized housing, but if it's not included, you can ask for a housing stipend to cover rent, a per diem for meals and daily expenses, a relocation allowance to help with moving costs. Example: a touring stage manager was offered a job with a salary they were hesitant about. Instead of walking away, they negotiated for a per diem that covered all their meals, effectively increasing their take-home pay without the company needing to raise their salary. Travel and commuting costs. If a job requires frequent travel or long commutes, ask about mileage reimbursement if you use your own car, company-paid flights, trains or rental cars for work-related travel, or public transportation stipends if you're in a major city. Example: a production manager working freelance in multiple venues negotiated a transportation stipend, saving hundreds of dollars in commuting costs over the course of a year. Additional paid time off, or PTO. If a company can't budge on salary, they might be able to offer more paid time off. This is especially valuable for the performing arts where burnout is common. Ask for extra vacation days beyond the standard policy, comp time if you're regularly working long hours or weekends, paid holidays, particularly if you're expected to work through major ones. Example: a stage manager at a festival-style theater asked for an additional week of PTO in lieu of a pay raise. The company agreed, and they were able to make a needed break without losing income. Professional development and training. Investing in your skills benefits both you and your employer. Ask if they'll cover conference fees to things like USITT or LDI or other regional theater conferences. Certifications like OSHA 30, rigging, first aid, or leadership training, or workshops or continuing education courses. Example: a production manager negotiated for their employer to cover an advanced rigging certification course, which not only saved them money, but also increased their future earning potential. Title upgrades and future pay reviews. If a company can't increase your pay now, lock in an agreement for the future. Ask for a title change. An example of that might be going from an assistant PM to PM. Set yourself up for a better pay in your next job. A guaranteed pay review in 6 months. A performance-based raise structure so you know exactly what it takes to earn more. Example: a stage manager took a job at a new venue with a salary they weren't thrilled about, but negotiated a guaranteed salary review after their first production. By proving their value quickly, they secured a pay bump within months. This rarely happens, but it's good practice to make it known, especially earlier in your career, that you're willing to let them see the value you bring before they pay you more. By thinking beyond salary, you can still maximize your compensation and quality of life. Many employers are more flexible in these areas than they are with direct pay, so don't be afraid to ask. Number 4, be ready to walk away if necessary. Sometimes the best negotiation tactic is knowing when to say no. If an employer won't budge on pay and the offer isn't sustainable, it's okay to walk away. Not every position is the best fit. It has to make sense financially just as much as it has to make sense with what you're doing and whether you enjoy the job itself. Example, a production manager was offered a job at a venue known for long hours and high turnover. The initial job offer was low, so they countered with a reasonable increase. When the venue refused, they declined the offer. A few weeks later, the employer came back with a better offer, proving that standing firm sometimes pays off. Thanks for listening to The 4 Rules of Negotiating by Half Hour. To read more, go to itshalfhour.blog.